right, thank you so much for joining us for our Back to School live series. Before we begin, we would like to acknowledge that the land on which we are hosting this webinar is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe peoples, many of whom continue to live and work here today. This territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties and is within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum and the Two-Row Wampum Agreements. These agreements established relationships between nations for harmonious coexistence based on respect, kindness, and acceptance, as well as stewardship of the land and resources to ensure that all people benefit and thrive. Today, this gathering place is home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. Acknowledging this reminds us that our great standard of living in Niagara is directly related to the resources and friendship of the Indigenous people. So my name is Ashley, and I am one of the public health nurses on the school health team at Niagara Region Public Health. Today, I am joined by Sheila, who is a vaccine preventable disease nurse, and she will be chatting with us about staying up to date on your child's immunizations. Please note that this video is for educational purposes only. For specific questions regarding your child's health, please consult your healthcare provider. So first question for you today, Sheila, is why should you vaccinate your children?
Infectious diseases can spread among children and adolescents who are not vaccinated and can cause serious illness, disabilities, and even death. Vaccines have saved more lives than any medical intervention in the past 50 years. The World Health Organization estimates that every year more than 2 million deaths are prevented worldwide due to immunizations. Without immunizations, we can expect to see serious outbreaks of many diseases that we are now protected against.
And the second question we received was, are vaccines safe?
Vaccines used in Canada are safe and effective. They're developed to meet the highest standards and are continually monitored both in Canada and around the world before they are approved for use in Canada.
And to follow up with that, how exactly do vaccines work?
Vaccines use weakened or killed virus or bacteria to trigger your child's natural immune response to provide long-term protection against a disease. Vaccines work because they trick the body into thinking it's being attacked by the actual disease, so it produces antibodies for protection. The virus or bacteria in a vaccine will not make your child sick with the disease. Instead, it's like a rehearsal for the immune system, so your child is prepared if they're exposed to the real disease.
All right. And Sheila, are there any side effects to vaccines?
Just like any medication, vaccines can cause some reactions. Severe reactions are rare. Some people can experience mild reactions from vaccines, such as pain, redness, or swelling at the injection site, maybe a mild fever after the vaccination. Depending on the vaccine received, some people may also experience a mild rash, fatigue, and aches. All of these are common reactions, and they will resolve in a few days.
When it comes to the schedule, can I actually choose my own schedule for my child's immunizations?
That's a good question, Ashley. The routine childhood immunization schedule is based on scientific evidence. Vaccines are started at a young age because infants are unprotected and they are the most at risk. It's important to get the right vaccine at the right time to ensure your child is protected. Delaying vaccines can be risky as it leaves your child unprotected and vulnerable to disease. In Ontario, your child gets vaccinated based on a routine schedule starting at 2 months of age.
Another question we received is, what exactly is community immunity?
Immunization doesn't just protect the people who get immunized, it also protects those around them. When the majority of people in a community are immunized against a disease, it greatly reduces the chances of that disease spreading in the community. It protects people such as infants who are too young to be immunized, those who cannot be immunized due to medical reasons, and people that may not respond as well to immunizations, such as the elderly. This is called community immunity or herd immunity. Getting immunized and immunizing your children is not just about personal protection, it's also about your community and protecting the community.
Now, how would I keep my child's records up to date?
It's your responsibility to keep your own record of vaccines received. Bring your child's yellow immunization card to the appointment for updating. Parents and guardians are responsible for reporting vaccines administered to school-aged children to their local public health unit. Doctors' offices are not required to report this information on your behalf.
And to follow up with that, how would I know if my child is up to date on their vaccines?
Check your child's record and compare it to the routine schedule here on the back of the yellow card. The routine schedule begins with several vaccines as an infant. Next, when your child is school-aged, boosters are scheduled at ages 4 to 6 years old. In grade 7, they'll be offered vaccines as part of the school campaign. Then, a teen booster is administered between 14 to 16 years old. If you're unsure, you can always check with your health care provider. You can also call Niagara Region Public Health to discuss your child's record with a nurse. They will work with you and your health care provider to find a plan that works to catch your child up if necessary.
And to kind of go along with that, what if I can't find my child's record?
Niagara Region Public Health will work with you to try and locate your child's record. If a record cannot be located, a nurse will work with you to develop a catch-up plan.
Another question we got, Sheila, for you is what vaccines do my children need to attend school?
By law in Ontario, public health requires either an up-to-date vaccination record or a valid exemption form on file. This is required for each child attending a licensed child care center or licensed home child care agency under the Child Care and Early Years Act, or primary or secondary school under the Immunization of School Pupils Act. Visit our website to see exactly which vaccines are required for your child depending on their age.
Can I choose not to vaccinate my child?
Good question, Ash. When choosing not to immunize, you must be aware of the risks. Your child is at risk of getting a vaccine-preventable disease. Also note, in the case of an outbreak, unvaccinated children are not able to attend school. You can find the instructions for an exemption form on our website.
And where can my child get vaccinated, especially now during the pandemic?
That's another good question, Ashley, especially during the pandemic. Your child can be immunized at your healthcare provider or a walk-in clinic. Public health units also offer vaccine clinics, but due to COVID, these clinics have been put on hold. Niagara Region Public Health is working on plans for school vaccine catch-up and general vaccine clinics. Please stay tuned.
To go along with that, what would my child do if they do not have a health card?
Another great question with a lot of people coming to Canada. There are some clinics that will provide vaccines without a health card. Niagara Region Public Health can help you find one.
And a very relevant question right now is what is spacing between the COVID vaccines and non-COVID vaccines?
As a precautionary measure, NACI has recommended specific intervals between COVID-19 vaccine and other vaccines. After receiving any COVID-19 vaccine, dose 1 or 2, wait 28 days before getting any other type of vaccine, unless directed by a healthcare provider. After receiving a non-COVID-19 vaccine, wait 14 days before getting a COVID-19 vaccine, again, unless directed by a healthcare provider.
All right, and last question for you, Sheila. What if my child is anxious about vaccination?
Question, Ashley. It's completely normal for some children to feel anxious about vaccines. Parents can help prepare children by being honest. Just explain that shots can pinch a little bit or sting, but it's not going to hurt for long. Tell your child that vaccines are important to keep them healthy. Niagara Region Public Health has implemented the CARD system. The CARD system stands for Comfort, Ask, Relax, and Distract. As found on our website, this provides safe, simple, and practical strategies that can be used to empower children to cope with fear or anxiety related to vaccines, and therefore make your child's vaccine experience a positive one. For younger children, hold your child or cuddle them on your lap. Use distractions like toys, bubbles, and books. For older children, encourage deep breathing and/or counting, as well as keeping their arm relaxed. After the visit, talk to your child about their experience. Let them know it's normal to feel some mild reactions that we discussed earlier. Offer some extra attention if they're feeling discomfort. Praise and reinforce that they are making the positive, healthy choice. Thanks very much, Ashley.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Sheila, for all that great information. That covers everything that we wanted to go over today. So thank you once again for joining us for our Facebook Live event. The resources that were mentioned in today's presentation are linked in the comments section. Our next Facebook Live session in the Back to School series will be on Monday, September 20th, and will focus on vaping. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to Niagara parents. Thank you again.